I'm Mark Seifter.
And I'm Linda Zayas Palmer.
And this is Arcane Mark. Hello everyone,
welcome
to Arcane Mark, Build an Item Workshop, where we are going to build an item on the WordPad file you see on the screen.
So you can see what notes we're creating and more easily follow along with the chaos. So,
as always, when we're building something, we need to start with a concept. So we want all viewers to start typing concepts in chat. Now, a bunch of people from the last time we had a non-Donsbury episode before this have kind of said they're going to come today and do a specific concept. So I have a hunch that that one is going to win the vote, but we'll see if it does or
Maybe
doesn't.
people have been inspired by other ideas in the meantime. And
maybe Rico needed something specific for his Kingmaker campaign, and he'll put it in and he'll somehow win.
Oh, Kojo said they can't. Kojo can't remember what the concept was. It was like this special
Spidersilk armor that was made by the Marigna.
Yeah,
the
from the other
Marigna
one.
Smith. Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Oh yeah,
so
well no, math guy is doing the here's for my campaign one. It's not Ulrika.
Yep, that's true. So we have the Spidersilk armor from the Marigna Smith NPC. We have
level 7.
The concept is leveled 7 to 10 staff
for an undead sorcerer headed to a fighting tournament.
Undead sorcerer in fighting tournament. All right. Oops, I accidentally pressed enter. I wasn't saying that we're done, so don't vote yet. We can have more. Anybody have other ideas that we want to add on to the list of possible things to vote for? Just type it into chat. It will get into the vote.
Indeed. It's
possible there won't be because there may have been like support coalescing around the other two. But I want to make sure people have a chance to do so. So
yeah, I do like the idea of like the undead sorcerer in a fighting tournament, because then you know, like, okay, this isn't gonna be your utility staff. This is gonna be like your, and also, is it a sorcerer associated with undead, or is it a sorcerer who is themselves also undead?
That's true. So. Or is it undead bloodline?
Yeah,
like, you never know. There's a lot of possibilities.
That you
can do for the fighting tournament. All right. So, while we were talking about the possibilities on those two, nobody put in a third idea, possibly just because Rico wasn't here to put in things from his community.
Somebody's got a Rico if Rico's not here.
That math guy did.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably running Ruby Phoenix. Although, actually, no, because the level of
the
the staff
levels
is too low. So he's running something else.
Yes. Fighting tournaments are such an iconic concept.
They couldn't come up anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so in that case, I guess the thing that I accidentally pressed enter on is actually the vote.
All right, guys.
So please vote for either the Spidersilk armor from the Marigna Smith NPC that we created about a month ago in chat, or the level 7 to 10 staff for an undead sorcerer in a fighting tournament.
If we only have 2 ideas, we may have time just to build both.
We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
But we can at least see which one we build first.
We need to see who wins. Who wins first.
And then we can decide if we do the second one too.
Mm-hmm.
There's questions. Is this a casting spell staff or a whacking people staff? We'd have to decide that.
That's part of the decision process. The concept was only the level and who was holding it in the fighting tournament, which is a completely viable concept. Mm-hmm. Concept could be a Sun Wukong staff. That's also a viable concept. The concept includes exactly what you need and determines what the key components at the heart of the item are. In this case, the heart of the item is the level and the appropriateness. Oh, it is Ruby Phoenix for like a starting PC. Ah, it's for a starting character. I see, I see. In any case, vote for 1 or 2. I put it in earlier. Here, I'll put it again in chat just so people can see. And we'll see which one we're going to make. Oh, right. Also, should probably ping Arcane Mark.
Indeed.
Or wait, did they already do it?
Yes, Leshybot has lashed.
Leshybot has lashed. Okay, thank you, Leshybot. You've lashed another day.
Indeed. We have a vote for 1 by the proposer of 1 in this chat.
Yes, we have. We don't have any other votes, though. Even a vote for 2 from the proposer of 2. Slow voting day so far. Let's talk about a little bit about what we're going to do next while the votes are coming in. So once we figured out which of those items we're going to make, we're going to look into figuring out some more constraints. And hold on, I'm about to sneeze, so you go.
Such as figuring out the level of the item so that we know what kind of general power base we're going to be looking at. We're also going to want to have a sense of what type of item it is. Well, the staff includes that already. The armor includes that already. But, you know, for the staff, we'd be figuring out, like, is it more of, like, the whack people with staff or the other kind of staff? Because the shape, the form, and the level are going to tell us a lot about what we're going to have available to us.
That's right. So we're refining down things that weren't in the key concept, but they're necessary to decide everything else. All right. So we're going to be making the Spidersilk armor from the Marigma Smith NPC, and maybe we'll make the staff if we have time left over.
All right.
Because Mad Guy Dave voted for the other one.
Indeed. So we're going to be building Spidersilk armor for Marigma Smith.
That's correct.
We made this Marigma Smith in a previous stream, and from that we figured out that the we figured out that Smith was level 9, but was able to craft things up to, I think it was level 15.
I think it was like she could craft things like slightly better than or no, equal to a full Marigma, even though she was level 9. And a full Marigma also didn't have crafting. So as well as the full Marigma's best skills.
Yeah.
And could craft up to level 15 items.
So that would tell us that this item is going to be somewhere between 9 and 15. Just based on the...
Most likely. Although she could make items that are lower than level 9 as well. Some people also wanted to focus more on like a special material of the Spidersilk, but I think it may be easier to focus on a specific armor for
because once you have a specific armor, you don't have to worry about whether that material is balanced if it's put on any possible thing.
Whereas if it's specific armor, you can just be like, this one bespoke armor does
So
this.
what level is this armor?
So let's ask chat.
What do you think,
type into chat any number. It doesn't have to be with it kind of has to be 15 or lower because of the constraints that this was made by a Marigma Smith. That is
yes, as Kojo mentioned, the Marigma's mimic friend will be the model for the armor.
Yes, there you go.
We have a vote for 10. 10 is a totally valid level for this.
We have a vote for 10, and we have a vote for why not both, which
I think that means for the staff, whether it's a Sun Wukong staff or a Gandalf staff.
I mean, it could be.
It totally could be.
Yep. Do we have any other votes for what level it should be? 14.
14.
Up towards the max of what she can make.
Okay. At what level does armor get its...
Yes, I was going to look at that because we really don't want to put it...
like at the exact possible...
Or, like at the same level or one...
Yeah.
It can be rough being one level after.
Yeah.
So but
this is actually 12.
10 is actually one level before a +2 resilient, which allows you to get a lot of stuff into it.
As would be 13.
12 is a little rough.
So our usual, let's just go
there's not a lot of space between 11 and 14, so it kind of has to be 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Or 10. It's got to be 10, 12, or 13. If it goes above 14, 15 is the only one she can make, and that one is just above. Being just above by one level is fine. You just don't want to put way too much into it because of the fact that it generally costs less than buying runes and sticking them in. Now, it does block off the ability to have runes, which is an opportunity cost. But if you have it at exactly the same level, that's the worst. Because you can't give it the new rune that everybody actually wants instead of your item.
Yes.
Or if it's doing very large amounts of things that is just one level's higher, then you can run into serious issues. So
it could be doing large number of things and be like level 10. Or it could be like doing, or be like level 10 or level 13. And then, or it could be doing like a smaller number of things and be in between.
That's right. So we have a 10 and a 14. So let's decide, let's say that it's going to be either 12 or 13, depending on how many stuff we want to put in.
Sounds good.
So it's definitely going to be +2 resilient.
Yes.
With stuff. And now we have to decide what is that stuff. So it is going to be a Spidersilk armor. So let's put that into here. So it's going to be a +2 resilient armor.
What?
So Spider
yeah.
Silk
What general
armor.
form is it using? Like, is it using the stats of?
Or we'll call it a Purgatory Spider Silk armor.
Yeah, Purgatory. I like that. So, is it generally using the stats like a leather armor, or is it generally using stats like what kind of armor is it generally
what
using? The base
type
form?
of armor would it be? Let's ask people.
Mm-hmm.
I think we said in the other stream that she could actually make things out of silk that even if they should have been heavy and made out of metal, but she can also obviously make them light. Yeah. So is this going to be a light, medium, or heavy armor? Let's just focus on that instead of getting too much into saying which armor it emulates, because then we can decide like which group it's in, or like it probably is in the cloth group, even if it's
heavy.
Even if it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's vote for light, medium
or heavy armor.
I can also put a 1, 2, 3 here in chat for people who can see the chat before they can see the video. We have a
1, a 2, and a 3.
And Rico's here, but not in time to flood the ideas with stuff for his campaign. But we have 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. It's completely split.
Oh man, does anyone else have an opinion to break the tie?
Does anyone else care about which kind of armor it is? Otherwise, we can just roll randomly because everybody wants all the types of armor. Mm-hmm. Or it's like the armor that modifies itself to be whatever heaviness it needs to be.
And when it is heavier, then it protects more, but its max dex isn't as good.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. That's what we're doing.
All right, that's what we're doing because everyone couldn't decide.
Okay, nobody could decide. So we're going to do this. So, the armor is alive and molds itself to fit your body and protect in a way that doesn't get in the way of your dodges. The base item bonus is, let's see, so that would be like, so the maximum dexterity modifier is equal to your dexterity modifier, maximum plus 5.
Yes.
And the base item bonus before applying the resilient rune is let's see.
Yeah, so like the sum of them would be 5.
The base is 5 minus the dexterity modifier. Mm-hmm. If you're proficient in heavy armor,
making it a full plate, yeah.
Yeah, so hold on. It would be like if the dexterity.
Because at some point it's going to slow you.
Hold on, we can't just do this because if your dexterity modifier is bad, but you're not proficient in medium armor, we need to change this. This is a very interesting design challenge on figuring out how to exactly do this. So the baseline bonus before applying the resilient rune is depends on your dexterity modifier and your armor proficiency.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you're proficient in light armor, or if you're not proficient in armor, the base item bonus is plus 0.
Yes.
If you're proficient in light armor, the base item bonus is equal to 5 minus your dex modifier to a maximum of plus 2. And so this would be plus 0, and the armor uses your unarmored proficiency.
Yes. Because at this point, it's essentially explored as close.
And the armor uses your light armor proficiency. If you're proficient in medium armor, then this would be with no maximum.
Yeah.
So I'll copy this. So no maximum. And the...
Yeah, because in this case you...
Or no, I'll say to a maximum plus 5 because you could have a negative dexterity modifier.
So this does mean, though, that if you're... Yeah.
If you're proficient in heavy armor...
These all have no max dex in at this point.
What do you mean?
Right? Because the base item bonus is equal to 5 minus your dex modifier. But they could have a base item bonus... Oh, I see. Because at the point where the base item...
The max dex is equal to your dexterity modifier maximum plus 5.
Right. We still have that
if you're
part.
proficient in heavy armor and you choose to do so, you can make... you can have the armor be heavy armor.
And then this is probably going to be like the full plate type, right?
In which case... in which case the base item bonus is equal to
6 minus your dex modifier.
Equal to 6 minus your dex modifier to a maximum plus 6. Armor uses your heavy armor proficiency.
But then you're going to be plank slow.
Yes.
Or at least slower.
And you take a minus 10 foot speed penalty. And so also the
medium.
The light armor needs to have and has a check penalty of -1 and a strength modifier of...
You probably do +1 here because you're giving it the chain type bonus rather than the leather type bonus. Unless
+0 if the or 1 less than the item bonus.
Yeah.
And then the base item bonus.
Then if you're pushing a medium armor, the base item bonus. Yeah.
And then I need to add in the check penalty. Check penalty of -2, and it's still a strength modifier of 1 less than the base item bonus. And the heavy armor is, I believe, still 1. Is 2 less than the item bonus, so that's going to be a little different. So we add. But we also in the medium armor need to state that it has a speed penalty of -5 feet. Which, as normal, a speed -10 foot speed penalty, and
a check penalty
of -3.
A strength modifier of 2 less than the base item bonus. Yes, it is any armor you feel like.
Okay, that was very complicated. It is already one of the most complicated armors in the game because it's whatever armor. Look how long that ability is. Good gosh. Let's see what people said about it in chat while we were typing this up. Numbat was subscribing in chat. There we go. And people were saying it's like a modular armor. So yeah, the Spidersilk just kind of knows what you want.
So when it knows what you want, how...
You have an action that lets you change it because you might want to change it to light armor so you can rest at night.
Yeah. But you don't need to be able to change it, like, dynamically in the middle of combat. In fact, that would probably be a little bit annoying if you're constantly switching it around. I guess you could.
There's no reason you shouldn't be able to. It's just not helpful.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it one action just for quality of life. Yes. But you really don't need to be using it in combat for most reason. You change the armor to have...
I guess, if you...
To a different category... in which you're proficient.
Yes.
Unarmored, light, medium,
or heavy. Boop. Or change the heavy to have the higher. I know we said all heavies were full plate, right?
I mean, no. We didn't give any of them bulwark. Because technically you can wind up in a heavy armor. Theoretically, if you have a very high dex modifier that has low armor bonus.
Oh, yeah, from this, yes.
Like, weirdly, actually, you can wind up in a heavy armor that has, like, +1 armor and allows +5 max dex.
Yeah, you totally could.
You can. Mm-hmm. It doesn't actually matter, but it is different than any other heavy armor in that sense. So that is just the base of what happened because nobody could decide what they were voting for. Let's see what we're going to do next. So, yeah, you can change it even during an encounter. It's just not it's just not a good idea.
Yeah, like it'd be a very edge case where you're like, well, you know, I like it being heavy armor, but like I'm being slower based on this and I'm frozen and that's hampered my speed and therefore be more valuable for me to...
So let's see if there are any armor property runes that we can just toss in. Because it has space for 2 runes. We're going to carve some of that out for its unique abilities.
So
but we need to make sure we know if it's level 12, we can at most put on a 600 gold piece rune. Mm-hmm. And that's if it doesn't have anything else, or if we want our item to make no sense, we could just do it the other way. Which, to be fair, some published items do it that way.
What was Deathless again?
Deathless? Yeah. I think it like protects you against certain amount of.
Because I was thinking about this being
like once per day when you would get the doomed or wounded condition, it reduces the triggering value by 1. Because that does Deathless does kind of fit with the idea of the Boneyard. There's also, like, what's Dread? It makes it so frightened enemies must succeed at a will save to reduce their frightened condition, although its DC is pretty low.
That's Lesser Dread you're looking at right there.
Oh, yeah, I know. It could also be, like, Slick because it's made of Spidersilk and Slippery, or Shadow because of the fact that Marigna are good at hiding.
Or, like, Staunching, does that help, like, seal your wounds?
Spidersilk
could totally do that.
I could see it sealing your wounds. It lowers the flat check against your wounds. That's also a good possibility.
Because it wouldn't want to take anything that could be that can only be etched onto a certain type of armor. Mm-hmm. Like that one's heavy armor only, for example. Because
we can't take any of those.
It could be it could change to a different weight.
That's right. Malleable armor changes its specialization group. I think that's metal. Just be cloth.
Yeah, that's metal armor only, and also medium and heavy only.
Also, invisibility rune would fit with the Marigna.
Yeah, it would.
What level is the original invisibility rune? I see the greater. Oh, there it is. It's 500, so it's in our budget for invisibility rune. Even if we pick the lower level one, we just can't do much else. If we do, what else is up here that could fit with Marigna? There's higher levels of the shadow. There's higher levels of the invisibility. If we go for the 13th level item, we might be able to afford that.
There's, like, energy resistance.
Yes. There's Dreader. We can't do fortification because it's not always going to be
major
the right kind of armor. Yes, there's major staunching.
And Winged, is that
major staunching, I think, is outside of our budget guarantee.
Oh, we're out of our budget now. Okay,
yes.
So we're
even though it's within the level range, it's out of our budget to put on a major
we hit the 13,
That's correct. So let's see what people in chat
Did
thought
any of those
all the
ideas
ones that
inspire
we were talking
folks?
about. So, we have named all of the runes that it could possibly be. We'll see if people want any of the runes. We do not need to put in any runes. Runes are just sort of a good short form. The idea is this has 2 rune slots. It also can get a cost discount of a small amount because eventually it will not get a 3rd rune slot at higher levels unless we create a greater version of it at higher levels to fill in.
Oh, there's a thing. What if it just made you vaguely sticky? So that would be like a custom thing, I think, and that would be the opposite of Slick. So we definitely want Slick in that case, and then we can put it in a sticky thing. So like, if you're sticky, that probably helps you with like grabbing.
And let's see, what do Marigna do with their wrapping lash? Where they
grab with it.
They can try to grab, and they can also make strikes against a creature who tries to attack them. They could also summon their spider minions.
Minions!
So, like, it's possible that the thing that this armor does is it's sticky, and therefore that it basically, essentially, quote, has the grapple trait, and you can just grapple with this armor.
Oh,
even
yeah.
if your hands are both free. And then Math Guy Dave says it might let you spider climb because of the fact that it's sticky.
Yeah, and just like that, when mentioning instead of wing, like that's much lower level type of effect.
Yeah,
so
for
we can
sure.
definitely have that. So yes, I like
so
spider
let's
climb
do
a lot.
that. Let's give you spider climb and grapple. While wearing this armor, you can grapple a single creature without a free hand.
Mm-hmm.
By sticking them into the armor's Spidersilk. As long as you don't have a creature grappled in this way, the armor can instead cling to a wall, granting you
what is the climb
the
speed?
effects
of spider.
of whatever spider climb is in remaster.
Let me see.
TM. Alright.
Archives of Nethys, go!
I think that's pretty legit. That's probably as much as we can do in the 13th level armor. So this is specifically very, very sticky.
The Velcro suit, indeed.
The Velcro suit. So let's make a greater version.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is the level 13 version. So it is level 13. Then greater Purgatory. Oh, I should just grab the name up here. So the greater Purgatory Spidersilk armor is going to be higher level. Also, we need like
it's called Gecko Grip.
Gecko Grip.
It's a climb speed equal to your speed.
Yes, Gecko Grip. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
The effects of Gecko Grip. We also need a price, but you know what? This really was kind of pushing it because of the fact that we only had 1,600 GP budget and we gave at will climbing and sticky, which admittedly you could have gotten like flying from Winged for 2,500. So like, but that's only once per hour. Mm-hmm. It's not constant. So
maybe this shouldn't be...
I think that we gave it a pretty good deal, so it should be at the top of its price range. So the original is going to be 3,000 GP. GP, invested, worn armor. Mm-hmm. Those are probably not in the right order. I'm just writing things down real quick. So this second one that's greater is going to, like, clearly going to want to be an armor that's plus 3 armor at least.
Yes.
And so the plus 3 greater resilient armor is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So basically our only option here is 19.
Yes.
Because it then gets a superior resilient at 20. Unless you want like a 20 that's above the maximum cost of 20, which is possible, but it's rarely done.
It gets
so let's make a 19. We have 16,000 of budget, and that means we can do something something really wild for the last thing, because that is an absurd amount of budget.
Yeah, folks are talking about it's weird to say Gecko Grip for that armor. I feel like if I were putting this for publication, I probably, instead of saying granting you the effects of Gecko Grip, would probably just like recast it as a bespoke ability of just say like granting you a climb speed equal to your speed. So that because if you can say like if you could just say granting you spider climb, it's, oh yeah, that works.
We'll just say granting you a spidery climb speed equal to your speed.
Yes.
Wink. You know what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
You know what it is.
Yes.
Okay. So this is gonna be as Purgatory Spidersilk armor, but it's
cooler.
A
plus 3 greater resilient armor.
And as per Linda, it is cooler.
Alright.
This chill to the touch protects you from environmental heat. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, something that protects you from environmental problems could make sense for surviving Purgatory, but like...
Yeah, probably don't need it.
No, probably don't need it.
Okay, so this is much higher level.
Mm-hmm.
We're still using up like sort of 2 of the property slots
so
on climbing and grappling.
Mm-hmm.
So we get one more thing. So let's look into a Marigna.
So
also,
Marigna's,
she
like,
obviously
lashing out
can't
blood.
make the
Yes.
greater one yet.
Yes,
because
she can.
it's too high level.
So
for
Marigna's
her.
also like they can lash out with the wrappings and things like that. And
Yes.
they have like attacks and stuff like that with it, which are not necessarily as much of what you associate with armor.
That is true. Let's see. Maybe since this is a 40,000 gold piece, level 19 item, it's a this and the Spidersilk wraps around your body and increases the reach of your unarmed attacks.
Oh yeah.
Your unarmed attacks increase their reach to or your unarmed attacks gain the reach trait.
Mm-hmm.
Typically increasing their reach from 5 feet to 10 feet for a small or medium creature. If they already had the reach trait, they don't increase their reach further.
Yes. So you can't use it to
make like uber reach.
Mm-hmm.
But you could be size large and get more reach
Yes.
with them, but you can't use it to be like, I'm a deer barbarian
But,
and I also have
there's
this
another
armor.
thing you could do that would be useful is you're a tiny creature.
Yes. That will give you 5 feet of
Yes.
reach.
But tiny creatures can like having reach.
Yes, they do. I think getting reach is really powerful, so it probably justifies most of that, but let's maybe buff up the other 2 features so that it doesn't have 2 weak runes and 1 like absolutely absurditron rune.
So the climbing one.
So maybe the climbing one, additionally, you can hold up to 3 creatures with the armor.
And climb as long as you're not holding all 3.
As long as you aren't holding all 3. Though you might need another ability to move while grappling something.
Yes, but some people have
But some people have it.
Some people have it.
Some
so
people have that. It's letting you know
yes.
in the first place.
This is not technical writing.
Yep. This is not. We're just putting some things in here.
So then when it comes to, so that handles both the climb and that. Now I'm also kind of wondering about, like, could this potentially let you climb, like, can you climb, like, on ceilings and stuff?
Yes. You can climb on ceilings and others similarly difficult feats with ease. This grants you the this grants you an effect similar to assurance for an athletics DC of let's say it's a level 19 item, which is the basic DC there is somewhere around 38, so a little bit worse than that. Let's say 35 to climb. So basically you will always get at least a 35, even with many inclement circumstances.
Can you climb on a ceiling with a 35?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I feel
the examples of what you can do with like a 40 are a lot more outlandish.
Or a lot more outlandish than climbing on a ceiling.
A lot of things climb on a ceiling that probably do not have a 40, which is the level 20 DC. All right, it's the armor of many pages.
How many pages does this armor take?
Well, it's got 2 variants, and it's in really, really large font size so that you guys can read it.
Yes.
Wait, why does it just say Arcane Mark builds? Oh, because I paused it.
Because that's paused, yes.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, this is a very expensive and fancy armor, and it's now very strong because it has a greater version.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go, and let's put in the price. This is probably still not at the maximum cost of level 19, because that would be 16,000.
So maybe like
the minimum
30...
cost would only be 7,000 or 6,400. So this probably, like, that extra reach is pretty good.
Yeah, 38.
Like maybe 36.
Yeah, that works too.
Let's do 36.
Sounds good to me.
It could be that it should be slightly more, slightly less than that, but we're just ballparking it here. 36,000 GP invested, worn armor.
Invested, worn armor, yada yada. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yada yada yada, yakety smackety. Alright, so we've now done that, but Linda kind of wanted to make the staff too,
yeah.
I feel like.
Let's do it.
Like, given everything, I think that what Linda was saying was that she really wants to. So let's make the staff as well. We'll make 3 items. 3 for the price of 1 item.
Indeed.
And the price of 1 item is 0. I mean, unless you want to send a cheer. But you don't have to. So let's see what we've got coming in for the staff. So now we need
to figure out...
The concept of this staff, the high concept, is like level 7 to 10 staff for an undead sorcerer in a fighting tournament, which might be the Ruby Phoenix. So
I feel like the next thing we should figure out is Gandalf stuff or Sun Wukong stuff.
Well, I think before we do that...
Figure out the level?
We need to figure out the level, and I think the answer is obviously 10.
Yeah.
Even though it said a level 7 to 10 staff, the further information was that it's a staff that a PC will start with when they start the campaign.
Yes.
As they are starting as an 11th level character when they start the campaign... I believe that
you'd want it to be 10,
not
anything lower.
We definitely want it to be at as high as it can be, because it's going to be a staff is somebody's iconic piece of gear, and it's probably the first thing that somebody usually upgrades. And so an even item level is correct also. So the only real choices for the most part were 8 or 10, unless it had a very large number of special abilities. And even then, you need to kind of put an asterisk on it. I mean, like an odd is okay, but if you go up by 2 levels on special ability, it's gonna be an issue. And an odd is still a bit rough because of the fact that you could have like a wand of 2 spell levels higher than that by then. Yeah. And yes, the staff has multiple castings potentially that can be split up and lots of choices, but a wand of 2 spell levels higher is like very tempting compared to that. So let's say that it's definitely a level 10 item in here. Rico is officially in the territory where he's now sad his workshop is not building his Dragon Kingmaker items.
Can't believe that you math
Rico, that happened. If you look at the chat, you can see that. You were not here. We even made multiple comments that if you were there, you would have just put in your stuff for your Kingmaker, but you weren't, so it didn't happen.
Alright, so
we're gonna make a 10th level staff. I'm deciding by executive decision.
Alright, yeah, but I want to know is it Gandalf or Sun Wukong?
So I think that it's for a sorcerer, so it's obviously not Sun Wukong. That's my answer, but while I executively decided 10 because I think that the player will be disappointed if they get a level 8 staff, not because they're like, oh man, I only got this not quite good cool thing. They might like it at first when I gave David to them and be like, this is cool that my GM made me a cool thing that was online. But I think they would, in play, over time, be disappointed by it if it was level 8 because it would obsolete too quickly. So I'm executively deciding 10. I'm not going to executively decide against Sun Wukong stuff, but I'm going to implore people that I don't think Sun Wukong is a good choice for an undead bloodline sorcerer, because being super lengthy, that's so good for, like, the Twisting Tree Magus, right? That's so good for, like, a bow staff, for a martial artist. It's exactly what you want. In fact, that's one of the reasons I wrote the Extending Weapon rune, so that it could be some Wukong stuff for a martial artist. But the sorcerer probably doesn't care.
I was assuming that the sorcerer in that case would be, like, using it to extend to, like, deliver touch range spells at, like, slightly longer than normal.
And in that case, like, it could extend maybe, like, you could consider that it extends a little bit.
It wouldn't be, like, really ridiculously far, but, like, fair enough.
Like, I would say you could probably get it to extend even 30 feet, and it's kind of like reach spell.
Yeah.
However, that's even less than the extending rune would do at certain levels. Actually, we can look to see what's up with the plus the extending rune is sort of something that works on strikes. Like, don't get me wrong, it is possible that we could make it do a reach spell type effect, but I think being Sun Wukong's weapon that you can smack someone with as an attack at a distance would fit a different class better. However, I'm leaving this up to chat. And hello to Hoylepa in Germany. We're brewing up a staff. We made 2 armors out of Spidersilk, and now we're making a level 10 staff for a undead sorcerer in a fighting tournament, a Ruby Phoenix tournament that is a PC. So let's see.
Oh, Kojo was saying that for Sun Wukong was thinking more about like hit people with it as opposed to extension.
Right. So I think a Sun Wukong staff would be about hitting people with it, but since it's for a sorcerer and that's part of his concept, I think that's why this is not the Sun Wukong staff is probably not the one we're making in this case. Whereas if you had like any level 10
yeah,
staff,
is this like a typical? Oh, also like is this like an undead bloodline sorcerer, or are they a sorcerer who is also themselves undead?
I see,
because
they could be a sorcerer with the undead archetypes or the undead bloodline.
Yeah,
it's very ambiguous. Which of those are they are? I think it doesn't matter that much, since the one thing we know about the sorcerer is that their theme is undead, so it's probably a necromantic theme.
So we're probably gonna have harm involved. Casty. Whatever we do.
Yeah, and look, I love battle staves a lot. I like Twisting Tree Magus. In fact, I recall correctly, like I was the one who proposed to add that as a hybrid study to have one with a staff. But whether that's true or not, because I can't remember, it's been a long time since Magus. The point is that this particular case is probably a little more spellcaster.
I'm going to get Nethys ready for our Nethys remastery. Ready.
So, Hoylepa points out if the sorcerer is literally undead or has to deal with undead, maybe it's a staff that is created to deal with vitality, positive damage coming in. Because the idea of the staff is that so let's do that. That's a cool idea.
I like that, yeah.
So we're going to make this one that, rather than just be like, we could do your spells that you already have from the bloodline, which is where I was thinking and what Linda was doing. Let's go with Hoylepa's idea. So we're gonna call this the Twilight staff because of the fact that it like sort of turns day into night, and its deal is that it can try to absorb and block.
If any vampires dare to sparkle in his presence, it will absorb them.
It's a level 10 staff.
That kind of makes me think is absorbing light too.
Held in one hand, I think.
Because I'm thinking about like also like the spells that deal like light and holy and all of that like annoying stuff when you're undead.
So it might be.
Because there's also vitality. Vitality is an obvious one.
And we'll just say it's the full 1000 GP. Alright, so the idea of the Twilight staff is that it is going to protect us from life stuff. So if we look into staves, we would see that basically the top level spell that we would have in a level 10 staff is a 4th level spell. That's just how it works. So like the top thing we'll have is a 4th level spell, and that means that we probably could not have, if we wanted to give it something that was like a bespoke life ward, we probably could not do that because of the fact that Death was a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
Unless we
weakened it in some
way. Unless we claimed that since it didn't suppress the effects of the doomed condition,
but it could give
had a shorter duration or something.
Yeah, I was thinking also if the status bonus and resistance were lower, then that could also potentially let it.
So, like, also the doomed condition is pretty nasty.
Pretty nasty, yeah.
And not being able to suppress that is a pretty significant decrease. So, maybe it has, maybe its marquee is, so we'll have 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
And cantrip.
Yep, it will have cantrips. And one of the cantrips, or one of the 4th is Life Ward. +4 status versus positive. It also doesn't have
Or
death
one of the fourth rank
and
spells,
negative. Yeah, 4th rank. Yes. It also doesn't have death and negative. It only has vitality.
Mm-hmm.
+4 status versus vitality and 10 vitality resistance.
Yes.
For 10 minutes.
What's the range on it?
Touch, 2 actions.
Yep.
So that's one of our 4th level spells. Also, all staves are gonna have some passive ability. So I think that the passive ability of this staff is the holder of the staff gains vitality resistance. Let's see, this would be normally like in the range of like the greater staff of blah if you had a greater staff and a major staff, so maybe it gains vitality resistance 2. Vitality resistance 2, which is cumulative with is a life ward spell for a total of 12 if you touch a life ward spell. Additionally, the staff radiates a 20-foot emanation of gentle shade, which prevents direct sunlight and grants a +1 circumstance bonus
to saves against
light effects.
Yes, that'll help with those annoying like holy light blasty stuff.
Yep. So then we need to fill out our other spells here for this Twilight staff. So it's going to protect us from these vitality attacks by virtue of us casting a Life Ward.
So we want the spells to be Death Ward doesn't exist, but in Orc, but we can.
Yeah, well, we already said what it did.
Yeah.
So now we know. What Life Ward does.
So let's see what kind of spells we can put on this kind of thing. So we're definitely gonna want it to be the case that those lower level ones are ones that will still be useful when you are.
That's correct.
A higher level person. So let's see. Spells. We're going to go to...
So I think another thing we can give it... I mean, it's going to have some bespoke spells. That's fine. It has Life Ward. I think it's going to have another one to completely do what we were going to want, which is like counter life. Mm-hmm. It's a reaction spell that attempts to counteract the heal spell. And these special spells are on the separate bespoke spells that you can't learn. Mm-hmm. Because whether or not it's fair to have a reaction spell that attempts to counteract the heal spell is debatable. That definitely is a hard counter to certain classes. But if you have a staff, that the only way you can do it is from the staff, that you only have like at this level 1 use of the counter life spell, then I think that is probably fine. It only attempts to counteract the heal spell. Yeah. Not anything else.
Not anything else,
Counteract the heal spell, cast... I don't know, specifically, we could say attempts to counteract the heal spell cast against...
a creature within 20 feet.
Undead creature within...
I was thinking 20 feet because that's the aura of the
30 feet. So that's the radius of the...
Oh, yeah, the radius of the thing is 30 feet,
heal spell.
Yeah.
So that means that you're within it.
Whether I feel like then you should make the shade aura be 30 feet as well, so then the idea is that
I see. That makes sense.
That's what I was trying to think, is that like it's there's a visible
warning that you can counteract it at that point.
So in terms of spells, I feel like fear is a good one. That third rank fear is a good
evergreen spell. That's right. I agree. We're going to want to have like 2 at each of these, roughly. Yeah. So we've got a 3rd rank fear, and also like there could be like a hypothetical weaker version of this that exists, and therefore it could have 1st rank fear in there as a 1st level spell if we wanted it to. It probably also has, let's see, it might actually also have 2nd level darkness or 2nd rank and 4th rank darkness. Yes, that gives it 3 spells, but 2 of them are weird bespoke abilities.
Yeah.
So it has like fear and darkness.
What?
But it doesn't have harm because it's actually more about stopping other effects on you than it is about just flat out being Staff of Necromancy version 2.0.
Yeah.
And Math Guy Dave points out that Protect Companion could be a good cantrip because of the fact that they might have an undead companion that they want to protect. That's a very good point. And he also suggested Darkness, which is a good idea. So I think Protect Companion
is a good choice. I guess you could do Chilling Darkness.
Oh yeah, you could do Chilling Darkness for some offense. What rank is that at the lowest rank?
Third is its base.
Okay.
It does attempt to counteract magical light. So that counteract's not going to be as good by the time it comes on board, but...
let's see. You know what? This has a lot of options at 4th level, but essentially 2 of them are weird bespoke abilities, so I'm just going to put it at 3rd and 4th so you could at least use it at 4th. Especially given this is only meant to be for Math Guy Dave's player and not have to, like, stand up to be like, well, everyone pick it if they can pick it as a unique item. At 10, we know that you can't be getting this early. He's actually getting it late because he's getting it level 11 and not at level 9, which is really the lowest level that you might be giving out a staff like this. So at that level, if you can't do the attack and counteract spells a 4th rank one, it's going to be a little rough.
Fair enough.
And then we can put in a few more lower level and cantrip
down
options.
to the lower rank of things.
Oh yeah, Enfeeble is a really good point from Math Guy Dave.
Absolutely.
Because that's a really nasty debuff at any level. It absolutely is. So we can have Enfeeble and Fear, and then we're gonna want to have at least one more.
At least one at 2nd rank.
Yes. And let's see.
What do we not care about?
We could have Void Warp as the other cantrip.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because it's kind of enfeebling. It fits the theme of enfeeble. So we have Protect Companion and Void Warp as our cantrips.
I was thinking, well, maybe you want status for your friends, but the description of status says, as long as you and the target are on the same plane of existence and both alive.
Yeah, you're not both alive.
You can't, because you're not both alive. Oh!
Some of you are dead. Maybe both of you. Womp womp. Let's see. So, Divine Spells, 2nd rank. It's probably going to be Divine because it's the Undead Bloodline Sorcerer. Unless we hope so, because if we were actually making this for just a Draconic Sorcerer who happens to be undead, then like all of these spells can't be used. But Math Guy Dave didn't stop us so far and even suggested spells that are on the Divine list, so I think we're safe.
That is not on the Divine list.
Let's see. We could do Bone Shaker. That came up in Donsbury Days.
And that's not work, is it?
That's true. Actually, it's Protect Companion Orc. I mean, we're not publishing this.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it can be whatever it wants to be. It can be anything, Linda, if you use your imagination. So there's not just like an awful lot of options in here. Actually,
I guess you
I
could
feel like there would have been more if it included literally everything that was not orc, but maybe this is it. So it's got Blood Vendetta.
Well, let's see that you have to say like view more or whatever.
Wait,
further down.
There's a view more.
See how it only goes through.
Oh yeah, there's like a million more.
See, it only goes through letter D.
Yes, I thought it was at the bottom of 2nd rank, but it wasn't. Okay, that's a lot more like it.
Yes, it is.
I was like, it's weird that it doesn't go to the end of the alphabet.
Spirit
we can also
Link would
potentially
let you
get Sudden
heal
Blight.
Your undead friends if you want to from your own body.
Sudden Blight damages living creatures in the area.
That totally works.
Shadow Zombie casts a shadow over a zombie, turning it into shadowy vapors and controlling its movement. Yep. We definitely don't want Reaper's Lantern. That's the last thing we want.
Absolutely not. Ghostly Lantern to diminish the undead.
That's right. Horrifying blood loss. Ghoulish cravings. Let's see if there were any other ideas in chat.
There's like Blaster Bane. You're probably
Those are
not...
first level rank. We want a second rank.
All right, we need second rank now. I'm on the wrong list.
Yep.
All right.
Yes, you might have been wondering why all the ones I was naming were not the ones that you saw.
Yes.
So let's see.
Blood Vendetta is a funny reaction. You wouldn't do like as much damage because it's a lower level one, but it's not like in cap or anything like that.
Maybe Sudden Blight.
That works, yeah.
All right, we're doing Sudden Blight. Oh no, because it's an attack, and we would need to heighten it, and we've already overloaded that. That's probably also true for Blood Vendetta. What's Ghoulish Cravings? Is that like not in cap? It's not. It's a disease.
It gives them ghoul fever.
There we go. We can do that. That could be funny in a fighting tournament. People fight on different days, so if you give them Ghoulish Cravings and it lasts until the next day, it could mess them up on the next day.
You totally could. Yeah, I keep wanting Mist to be on the Divine list, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not because it's like a very material spell.
Yes, I know, but I keep being like, oh, the Mist of Death. I looked at it like 3 times and like, no, and it's still...
Mist of Death, Linda.
Surprisingly,
Mist of Death, Linda.
Oh, no, it's still...
Maybe we're supposed to have only 1 cantrip, but this one has 2. Alright, so what would the major upgraded version be at level 14? So, the level 14...
So, we'd definitely be heightening the things.
So, the major version... Major version, level 14. Oh, did we put the price of this? Yeah, 1,000 GP. Level 14. And this is also probably, like, most staves are, like, very close to, if not at the top of their tier for costs. So, we can put 4,500 GP.
So, like... So, with in the general...
Resistance to vitality increases... to 3.
In the general theme of you have versions of things that people usually use to heal or protect themselves against undead, but you do it, I could see like Breath of Death, and it's not that you have nauseating breath that smells like you never brush your teeth, but it's Breath of Life, but for undead.
For undead, using Void Healing. Mm-hmm. It's probably only at 5th. It doesn't have to heighten again.
Yeah.
Then we're going to give counter life, and we're going to give a 6th level counter life, so you can keep countering life, and a 5th level counter life. Mm-hmm. It's ready to counter life at any level.
Yeah. Invoke Spirits is an interesting one, too, where you bring Ragged Apparitions of the Dead to rise and stalk the living. It's 5th and heightens to 7th. Creatures that people take a little bit of damage and might be frightened or fleeing. And you can sustain it to move it around.
Alright, well, we can do 5th Invoke Spirits, and then we can just put Chilling Darkness on all of them, and then call it a day. I mean, we might want 1/6, but we already have 2, which some things do. It's just that they're both heightened versions of lower level effects. This is more than most staves usually have anyway. But it's like a unique staff.
Yeah,
and they sometimes have
Vampiric
more.
Exsanguination is like your stereotypical one that's in there. Let's see, what else?
Let's see. Yeah, that's a good backup.
If I'm just
there's also Spirit Blast for spirit damage, but
Field of Death! It's Field of Life, but
what about Ravenous Darkness from Ghost King's Rage? It's a darkness that deals damage to things.
Seems legit.
Okay, we can put in Ravenous Darkness, because darkness is a part of the Twilight
This is a unique
staff.
item, so we don't have to worry about commonality like we usually do.
That's correct. This is a unique item that only this one person has in this fighting tournament. And they don't even have this 14th level version. It's the hypothetical upgraded version.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll get something along the way, and everybody will be upgrading their starting items or something. Who knows?
That's right. I just figured we might as well create the major.
Yeah.
So we actually created 4 items in 1 hour. There we go. Yeah, the chime of Windows Office is from us. It got annoyed by what I did in WordPad. There we go. We have made some very expensive items. They were all pretty high level. And we worked together and made 4 items in 1 hour. How about that?
Yeah, let's check chat real quick, see.
Okay, I'm checking chat here.
I see there was a mention of like roaring applause.
There we go. So,
Roaring applause is the phone.
I think we've got it.
So
These
this
are
is
items
mostly work with a little bit of a little bit of non-org
if you
thrown
go
in.
to tiny.cc/arcanemark, we're going to put them in there, these items that we made together. Let's say goodbye to YouTube and then vote for the next episode.
Indeed.
Bye, YouTube. See you next time.
Bye.